without volume. I was talking without volume for the last like 5 minutes probably. Okay, so let's restart from the beginning. Quite interesting things. I have a little bit fight with it. Good morning, good afternoon. I will be very quick on this. And what I say that is welcome to this episode of Spontaneous Stories. Riccardo here, and what I'm going to do today is I'm going to walk you through three simple steps, basically one step divided in three simple sub steps to unlock your storytelling skill. And I was going to say, oh yeah, today I have a big fight with this visualization, get me very crazy, and also that I was not able, let's say, to to enable the um, video and the audio, and basically I was speaking for the last 5 minutes, let's say, without audio. And yeah, I mean, if I see there is someone connected, you cannot hear me, just type. It's not your problem. Today it was my problem. I was messing up things. So resume because you didn't hear me and restart once upon a skill set. I would say that there is what I'm going to share with you is a way to unlock, discover, or to enhance your storytelling skills. A very easy way, in a very fun way, I hope so, and then make sure that you own these skills and then reuse them in your public speaking. That's what I'm going to do. Hey, I have a prepared slide today, no me sketching on the whiteboard, and that's the slide that I struggled. Yeah, let's start. So this, what I'm going to share you, basically is not only Riccardo idea. It's something as an idea that I from the old book. Let me go to the other screen from the other book, old book of the Toastmaster. This is the oldest Toastmaster book, learning book. Is the book related to to storytelling. Basically, I went through this book. I delivered past my storytelling path, and I become certified with. But the very first step is it's called the folk tale. Okay, and this is what I would like to share with you. You are interested in what, if you have any questions, if you are interested, please share with me. Drop a comment into the chat. I'm live also uh, in YouTube. You are following YouTube. So let's start. And okay, the very first step is this one. Folk tales. So folk tales are around for centuries. If you think, I mean, there are some folk tales that are, I mean, if you think Cinderella, if you think like the Red Hood, Three Little Pigs, I mean, there are folk tales that are around for hundreds, and uh, and there is a reason, because these folk tales contains all the elements of successful communication. And what I'm going to suggest you the following: pick up a folk tale that you like. It could be a children tale, Three Little Pigs. Be a tale a little bit more for adult with the humor. It could be a tale from like the ancient Greece. that have a very big moral. Um, it's up to you. What is important here is it's the process. Okay, is the process to, sorry, from time to time I'm checking. Is the process to uh, make the way you build your skill and you use overall to tell the tale. Okay, so first step is read the story. Okay, read the story several times. Okay, and analyze the structure of the story. That's a very important. Choose one story that you liked when you were young, one story that some way is resonating with you. Do a search web, find the version, so know the story that you remember. Find a version written of the story and read. And then ask this question. What is the plot? How the plot is organized? How does the action flow? What's going to happen before? What is going to happen middle? And then ask your question, where is the climax? Where is the point, the twist point of the story? It could be one or more twist point. Normally, the folk tales they are not really too much complicated. Most probably, I would like to challenge you to read through and find the one key twist point, one key climax point, the point where things are going to turn in some way, and they are creating, someone call it the haha effect, someone is calling it like the wow effect, whatever it is you want to call it, is the point where the the story grab the attention and make sure that if you stop that moment telling the story, your audience will be unhappy. Someone is telling you the story and stop, imagine that you don't know how the story is going to end, and someone stop at that point, say, no, I want to know how it's going. Okay. And this is very connected to the very last question. Why the feeling, the story feeling, because it's just told in a very interesting way? Is the story appealing because of a big moral? It's a story appealing. Just ask this question. This is a very important. Read the story very carefully and analyze it, making you really dig into the. That's the first step. Step number one. And I would like to ask if anyone is connected right now. I see one person. I don't know if it's a wing, because if you are connected, have you ever done an exercise like this? Reading a short book and asking yourself why why this story survived for hundreds of years. There are stories, the ancient Greek stories. I mean, we don't tell these stories because they are nice to tell, because they have a grip, they are memorable. Have you ever done an exercise like this? Just say yes, say no. If you have never done this, it's okay. But just to see if you are really a real viewer, or it's just, let's say, scrolling around and stopping for a few seconds on my screen. Coming, comment, probably in the application. But yeah, if you are watching the recording, do it. If you're watching the recording, ask this question. Okay. Next, next step. This is the step number one. Okay. Step number two. Become familiar with the scene and the characters, and of course, what you are going to do is prepare to tell the story in front of. I didn't tell you. I mean, I tell you that you are going to do this at home, but if you are going to tell this story I mean, if you're going to tell you can tell the story to your dog, your cat, still fine. But if you have a friends, if you have a friends, if you don't be shy. Tell, okay, you know what? Tell them, you know what? I'm going to do some exercises to unlock my communications. One of these exercises is telling this silly old folk story. And can you hear me? Um, can you, um, oh, oh God, oh, thank you. Thank you, Diamantino. I'm very happy that you are not just passing by. Yeah, you have. I'm very happy that you did. Is so if you have someone that you can really tell the story, tell him. You know what? I'm going to do this exercise to unlock my communication skills. And someone told me that if I go through the folk tales, these silly folk tales, I can improve my communication. Okay, so the step is the following step is become familiar with the scene, the characters, and make sure that you can make your audience visualizing that. So read through the story, and I would like to say memorize. So read several times, not read just one time. Even though you have heard when you were young, it's a story that you know well. But this time, read again. Read again how the story is written, and try to visualize every character. Visualize. I don't know if you have the three little pigs, how the pigs, how you want to describe the pigs, or if you are going to tell the story of the hare and the turtle, whatever is the story that you choose. Fix a little bit the attention to the different characters and think about how they are described. Sometimes in the book there are some especially these stories that are ancient by centuries are some of them are very like described. Some others are like very very deep. Yeah, great. I'm very happy, Diamantino, that you do this. This is exactly what I was doing in my previous company, using storytelling skills and techniques to enhance the communication skills. And I was doing exactly the same with my colleagues. I'm very glad that I'm connecting with a colleague because the storytelling skills are so powerful, and we underuse them. We think that the best way is go through facts when we do a presentation, when we are in a high stack situation. And of course, facts are important. Imagine that a lawyer in a courtroom. Lawyer in a courtroom is not telling the story of the three little pigs, of course, but listen carefully how he use his voice, how he decline different steps of his speech. You will find that will use is going to use a storytelling technique. This is exactly the same techniques that I'm going to tell you to use. So read through the story, analyze the different character, memorize the story, but no by heart. I'm not telling you to learn the story word for word. I tell you to make the story your story. Of course, there are elements of these stories that are working for centuries, and like the Three Little Pigs, the Off and the Puff. I mean, now I'm Italian and I have to rework a little bit the story in English, but I learned the story when I was young in Italy, so I learned the story in Italian and then I relearned the story in English. And I know that there is a specific statement into the story when the wolf puff and puff, puff and puff. This is very bringing the story to life. I will go on the delivery in a second, but maybe you want to memorize key elements, key phrases, key quotes on the story because these are elements that make the story working. But the whole story, read several times, repeat several times, but don't memorize word for word. This is the second recommendation of the 3 steps. The very first step is look into the plot, understanding what is working. The second element is visualizing the story in your mind, memorizing or interiorizing. This is the keyword, interiorizing the story. Make the story your story. Okay? And just memorize few elements. If you want to go a little bit a step further, the beginning and the end are critical. Maybe you remember my lesson last time, the head of the tape. But step number 2, read the story through and make sure that it's yes. Yes, Diamond. I definitely I definitely I agree with you. That's why stories they now are yes, that's why math and is for some is hard to grasp. I would like I really appreciate that you are sharing this, Diamantino, because facts are important, but if facts are not connected with the stories, they are not really grabbing. And I do remember when I was at school, there were a math teacher, and she was used to, I don't want to say to tell a story, but she was used to tell us why the math was, why the function, why the integral. I mean, I studied also technical STEM, technical matters in Italy, and I do remember she was making the math very interesting because we were looking into the reason why an integral is important when a derivative is, because she was making, I don't want to say that she was telling a story, but she was, when she was explaining why some mathematical methodology or approach was important, she was really making us visualizing. So it's a very important. Facts and numbers without a support of a narrative, they are not made for absolute. Yeah, I love. Thank you very much for your for love it. So now step number 3. Let's go. Let's jump in step number. The step number 3 is of course rehearse. Of course, rehearse to make sure that you are ready to tell your story to your audience. But the important step here, important message here is the following: rehearse. Okay, this is my suggestion. But it's not only my suggestion; it's Toastmaster suggestion to unlock your storytelling. Make sure that after you have interiorized, after you make the story your story, rehearse the story using gesture, voice to announce. Now, at the beginning, maybe you do like the wolf puffing and puffing, and you move yourself, and then you use like very theatrical approach. But there are other subtle part that you need to work on, and as soon as you work on them, then you adjust your style. Okay, and I wrote down the tempo, the rhythm, and the inflection. What's the values, volumes? So yeah, the body is important. First of all, you're telling the story. Learn the tempo, rhythm. Learn the moment you need to accelerate the story. The wolf was very hungry, was salivating, and really trying to feel the smell of the pig, and then finally decided to huff and puff, and they put down the house of the little pig, or the hare and the rabbit. Sorry, the rabbit and the tortoise. The tortoise was like in his time, walking a step after the other, and then the rabbit say, "You know what? I can sleep. I look for a place, and then decide what's the time. Slow down where you are talking about the and talk a little bit faster when you are talking about the rabbit or the hare. This is helping you to listen yourself, find the rhythm story, find when is a moment to ration, and find when there is the moment work, the, the slow down. And you remember at the beginning there was the analysis of the story, the climax. Where is the climax? And climax comes to the climax. Remember, pause. Pause is important. Work on the pause when you are in the point that tortoise, step by step, get close to the end line, to the finish line. Rabbit just wake up. And so the tortoise that was there at the finish line, they say, "Oh, what's going on?" And you know what? Rabbit ran very fast. But the tortoise, last step, ended before. Make sure you work on the, make sure you work on the, make sure that the final step, pause. This is really helping. When you memorize the story, you retell the story several times, you rehearse the story several times. Try different rhythm, try different tempo. Try to tell the story very fast, slowly. Try to make some pauses, make inflection. Try to make inflection that are subtle. Imagine that you are telling the story to the rabbit and the tortoise to a not very adult audience, a professional environment, just because you want to tell important going step by step. How, which kind of tempo, which kind of rhythm, which kind of inflection use. Try several. It's this is like a gym. Okay, you try before the lightweight, try after heavyweight. Just a matter of tries. Or if you are play tennis, try before to hit the ball some way, then try a little bit a different step, and then try a little bit the other. All about practice. But of course, the practice is supported by fundamental. Fundamental step is understanding the story and visualizing the story, asking the right question, memorizing the story, making sure that the story is your story. Second step, and the third step, rehearse, practice, practice the way you want to tell you the story. Your voice, most important. Hey, Dad, I'm going. It's a bit more than half an hour. I started the muted, but really do that you day three folk tale. This is something that I worked very hard. In my first Toastmaster, let's go back. My first master, my first Toastmaster certification path, the advanced certification path, storytelling, the folk tales, and it's not silly. Absolutely, it's not silly. Not silly doing retelling a folk tale in front of an it's hard. Imagine that you are going to do a stand-up comedy, so then you can add. Or imagine that you want to use this little story for a professional environment. You want to add um, a reason. So what you are telling, why is this story is important? As soon as the story, you made the story, your story, unleash the storytelling skill. Well, at this point, you'll have any presentation, and you will see that the next time that you any speech, any communication that you do in life, of course, is I don't know, sales manager, you are a project manager, you are a keynote speaker, probably you already done a lot of these exercises, or you are an aspirational keynote speaker. Well, you will notice your brain more listening, pauses, feeling the rhythm happening. This, I mean, is a simple approach, but it's not trivial. Okay, it's a simple but not trivial approach. Learn storytelling skill. Not about to tell, about to learn voice, understand the structure, content. I do really hope that useful for today. I'm going to right now. I'm much for everyone who me. And if you want to get this slide that I prepared, just drop me a message into the chat or direct it to my direct message, and I will send you the slide that I prepared. Step, and I'll drop down elements that I appreciate time today, and one ciao, bye for now.